Good morning. This is my social justice blog. The Golden Rule is defined as a basic principle that should always be followed to ensure success in general or in a particular activity. Most people identify the Golden Rule as do unto others as you would have them do unto you, as quoted in Matthew 7:12. In the article that we read, Justice and Social Justice in Counseling by Crowther and Winterroud, they spoke about the Golden Rule being of great value in everyday life. But they also pointed out that in the field of counseling, the Golden Rule should be adjusted to better serve the varying needs of clients. They proposed that the Golden Rule of counseling should be do unto others as they would have counselors do unto them. With social justice, multiculturalism, and advocacy in mind, along with being mindful of my own self-care as a counselor and advocate, I came up with my own version of the Golden Rule. Treat others the way that they desire and need to be treated, with intentional respect and care to each individual, along with treating myself the way I treat others. Because we are in a helping industry, we automatically tend to put others' needs before our own needs. Treating myself the way I treat others reminds me to show myself the same kind of care and compassion that I show others. If we apply the everyday Golden Rule, we may miss out on what our client desires and needs because we are too focused on doing to others what we desire and need, not what they desire and need. I see a lot of social justice and advocacy in the life of Jesus in Matthew 2:17 when he said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." Because of my own personal experience, the experience of one of my daughters, and several people I have been blessed to know in recovery, I have a passion to eradicate judgment over the stigma of having mental illness, such as depression or anxiety, and the trauma behind the illness, specifically within the church. Many in the church feel that their depression or anxiety or mental illness reflects a weakness on their part, a personal defect, which leads them not seek out diagnosis or treatment for fear of being stigmatized. Compounding the situation is their feeling that their depression highlights a weakness in their faith, where they question why God was forcing them to suffer. Mental illness in the church carries with it enormous shame and fear. Shame of being ill and fear that seeking out help would divulge the fractures in their relationship with God. The trauma behind the illness also brings tremendous shame for the Christian. Churches should be hospitals for hurting souls. As I thought about how I could become an advocate for individuals and their families that are struggling with mental illness within the church, it is easy to see myself down the road, having received an education to be able to help them. To see myself as an advocate in the present is harder. I would be willing to start a small group for women, conducting it similarly to as a Celebrate Recovery program would. And I can share my story and my journey to healing, to familiarize people with the messy side of life, to educate them, and to begin to remove the stigma of having a mental illness. Someday I would like to see the judgment lifted and the warm embrace of church family come around those who are sick, just as Jesus did. Thank you.